But let's talk about something that is coming to our, game controllers and game consoles and everywhere. I think almost everywhere. Very soon. Let's talk about Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn. They had an extended gameplay look not too long ago, I believe yesterday or the day before. Actually, a couple of days ago, 3. But they talked about all of their gameplay loops, the systems that they're talking about, the combat and mobility, the weapons that you're able to access, the enemy types, Enki, your companion that'll roll with you, your reputation system, and just a whole lot of how the gameplay will look when Flintlock drops. Talk to me. How did you, take in Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn?
Flintlock looked really, really dope. I love that system that they showed, which was like how your attacks are the basically build up your ammo types. I really enjoyed the gameplay. It looked like it low key looked like I hate to say it, like a fun Souls game. Like it just felt like it was faster. It felt less restricted in the sense of like roll here, make sure you don't get hit by this move, but it still had that punishing aspect to it. It looked like a lot of fun. I love the concept of the flint weapons. The only thing I didn't really like too much, but I understand why they did it, was like how some of the weapons you have to like rest before you can use them again. But of course they are really, really strong, so it makes fighting these enemies easier. But I also like my anxiety with the way my brain works. I feel like I'm gonna get to so many different rest stops without using any of the weapons because I'm like, oh man, I don't want to waste the bullets on this group because what if they're easy to kill type thing. But I think it's gonna come with like playing the game and knowing what's the right time to use them and what's not the right time to use them. But I think the game looks phenomenal. It looks like a lot of fun, and the way that the combat flows, I know I'm gonna be spending a lot of time playing this game and just checking out different builds, using because I remember even in the one of the fights they showed how like they use the gun as like a combo ender, so they'll use a whole combo then they'll shoot. But then somebody was about to jump on the main character and they used the gun to stop their lunge, which was like, oh, so can you use defensively and offensively? It looks like they have a lot of options for you, and definitely looks like a really fun time.
Yeah. This is my thing. We talked a little bit before the podcast about this type shit. This is my thing about Souls-like games. I'm growing in appreciation. I was fearful of them, you know what I'm saying, before, not necessarily scared to play, but I just wasn't necessarily interested in playing them for a long time because of the mobility. And I like the crunching gameplay, you know what I'm saying? You have to time yourself, you have to be very patient. There's dangerous enemies that are going to be there, but I just felt like the mobility was more of an enemy than an ally in a lot of these Souls games, and that's what got me. That's what made me avoid them in a lot of different ways. I'm like, why the fuck do you have to be so fucking slow? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to use this one attack to get around and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? An attack to try and be more mobile or dodge roll. You know what I'm saying? Just slow ass dodge roll like I'm over encumbered or some shit like that. I feel like Flintlock really does help to achieve it achieves a balance between, again, mobility that looks like it helps you, it's an ally to you rather than just a hindrance or, you know what I'm saying, really ineffective in some cases, and has that crunching gameplay of Souls-like games that we know and love. So I really enjoyed that. Again, the slides, the jumps, the using flint weapons to even, again, aid your mobility more. Like you add a double jump I've seen before, having those things. So I really, really like how the blend of movement and combat are just like synced in this game. From the look of it, I really enjoyed that. I think that's a really, really solid, like, you know, just middle ground to have, because you know me, I mean, I'm a fucking Kingdom Hearts 2 fan. I'm a movement whore. I love that shit. I want to jump around. I want to feel like I'm like floating on air type shit when I'm fighting, or at least have some type of agency over how fast and how much I can move to dodge attacks. I'm not the best parrier, but I like to dodge, you know what I'm saying? I like to slip and weave shots. You know what I mean? So I like that type of stuff. And on top of that, that reputation meter in combat is also really, really cool. Again, adds a bit more risk in and of itself, to where, you know, again, basically they said, you know, combat, the different things you do, kind of style points, combo meter, you'll build up your respect through those, and you can keep risking it to multiply it as you go on, you know, so long as you don't get hit or else it resets to 0. And then if you get to a certain point that you save, you're like, all right, cool, I'm done. You can bank it, and that becomes your respect that you spend on, you know, again, customization options, different weapons and such. I think that's very cool, adds more risk reward to the combat rather than just, oh, you get these souls If you die, you have to reset and go find those souls on the floor. I really do enjoy that tweak. The game looks really, really beautiful. I like the different set pieces and stuff that we found in different environments. Very varied. The bosses look super cool. Again, Norvanic as a protagonist looks super cool. Enki looks dope as fuck. I like that. I feel like the gift and a curse in Souls like games sometimes is that you have to find a lot of these things that build buffs, where, you know, sometimes I want a little bit easier. I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes I want to find this customization a little bit easier. I don't want to have to go up a fucking mountain path to find a comet spell. They have the whole skill tree of Enki that shows different, like, you know, status effects you can apply to your weapons, or different little attacks you can apply to Enki itself. It's there for you to build on in the menu itself, which is good. I think that's great. You can spend on it and really customize it how you want in there, instead of having to go on like a fucking, you know what I'm saying, Shrek 1 adventure to go rescue a princess and then go find that shit. I like that. You can do whole ultimate abilities and like fuse with Enki, you know what I'm saying, like y'all both had the earring on from Dragon Ball, like that's cool. I'm enjoying this, bro. I've always had my eye on this game. I think A44 were really, really like on some solid wavelength with this shit from the jump, and I think this can stand out as a really, really again, just differentiable and fun Souls-like game. We've seen a lot of them come and go, but I think this one can definitely stand out because it has that blend of movement, has that blend of customization, and, you know, it just looks and feels different from what I've been seeing. So I like it. And again, we talked about it before the podcast. Probably one of the best Souls games, if not the best Souls game, was Sekiro, because it did so well with the Souls-like approach, but it also added very, very like smooth movement to it, and you felt like you could do more with what you were given. So I'm having a good. The more I see it, the more I like it, man. And shout out to the Flintlock social team, man. They keep it locked on that side. They're a fun social team as well. So I want to see more Flintlock. I can't wait till this drops.
Me too. No, this game looks really, really good. And I, as most of you have probably heard by now, I'm not the biggest fan of Souls-like games because I feel like they're oversaturated. This seems like a good step away from that, and it seems like something that I think is needed at this point. Like something to showcase like the whole lock-on, spin around like combat, but with a little bit more personality.
Yeah, no, 100%.